What's up, everybody? Basketball fans, basketball enthusiasts alike. Welcome back to another edition of our NBA mock draft presented by Between the Lines Sports. I'm your host, James Ivy Williams, and today we have an exciting lineup of talent and prospects ready to dive into as we embark on the NBA draft. Right, we're about a month away leading up to the 2023 NBA draft. I'm fresh off of a trip to the NBA Combine and the NBA G League Elite Camp in Chicago, Illinois. And I'm going to dive into some of the highlights and prospects that we feel have moved up the board, moved down the board, and moved off the board pretty much. So we're going to go into our top 30, and you can visit our top 60 on the website at www.btlhoops.org, www.btlhoops.org. And so, with that being said, let's jump right in. At number one, it's no surprise, the San Antonio Spurs are taking Victor Wembanyama from Metropolitan 92 in France. Victor is a 7'4", 7'5", do-it-all basketball player. I don't even know what position to really call him. Fresh off of MVP in the French league this past week. Victor does a lot of things well. We've talked about him a lot, and there's a lot to kind of continue to unpack. But he's pretty much listed as a generational talent. He's one of those guys that I think a lot of people expect, including myself, to step on an NBA court and do a little bit of everything right away, and to step into the position of leader and franchise player the moment he steps into the NBA. Victor can shoot the ball from the perimeter. He can put the ball on the floor. He has crazy wingspan, exceeding 8 feet. He's got great recovery speed. He's fluid. He has fluid movements. Victor does a little bit of everything. So at 7'4", the San Antonio Spurs are going to take Victor Wembanyama from Metropolitan 92. At number 2, we have the Charlotte Hornets taking Sterling Scoot Henderson from G League Ignite. The 6'2", 6'3" point guard has showcased talent and improvement over the past 2 years with G League Ignite. He has a much improved jump shot, especially in the mid range off the pull up. He's showing a much improved 3-point shot as well. He's become a great playmaker and facilitator, pretty much been with the ability to make every pass you possibly can think of as a point guard that you want him to make. And he's an improved defender. I think he has all the physical tools to be a really good elite on-ball defender at the point guard position. And as the shot continues to improve, I think Scoot's going to continue to make strides. On the other side of things, off the court, I think Scoot is one of those guys that I've said this before, but Scoot's personality and his ability to galvanize a group will make him a pillar and a cornerstone for a franchise. Check out the article, a couple of articles I just recently wrote on him on the website, www.btlhoops.org, and you can kind of see some of my thoughts on Scoot and why I have him ranked so highly. If Victor wasn't in this draft, I think Scoot would be the number one pick in my opinion. At number 3, we've got the Portland Trailblazers taking Brandon Miller from the University of Alabama. The 6'8", do-it-all, small forward, has a great combination of inside-out game, can shoot it from the perimeter, from the three-point line, off the catch, off the dribble, off the move, spot ups, and he can put the ball on the floor and create for himself and get into the lane, finish around the rim. And he's got a nice untapped mid-range game that I know he has from his time in high school. Brandon also has the ability to become a very good on-ball defender and help defender with his length and athleticism, which he doesn't necessarily always tap into, but I think as he gets to the next level and is probably playing with one of the elite point guards in the league, he's going to have to show and prove that he can show value and be on the court and play defense as well. At number 4, we've got the Houston Rockets taking Amen Thompson from Overtime Elite. 6'7" small forward wing. Amen does a little bit of everything as well, can put the ball on the floor, can create for himself, can get downhill, can facilitate for his teammates, athletic, can finish around the rim, elite defender on ball, off ball. Does a little bit of everything, has good size, has to improve his jump shot. But I think his tools that he currently has, if nothing else, he's going to be a really good multi-dimensional wing defender at the worst. But if he develops a jump shot, he's going to show much improvement. He's going to be an elite wing in the league, in my opinion. At number 5, we got the Detroit Pistons taking Cam Whitmore from Villanova. 6'6", 6'7" wing, broad shoulders, physically strong, athletic, can create for himself off the dribble, has a nice package of side steps, step back, jump shots. Also has the ability to finish in the lane, in and around the rim, finish through contact. Physically strong guy. Has to improve on the defensive side, but he has the tools and athleticism to do that. And I think he'd be a good fit in Detroit with all of the wings and guards that they already have, and the combination of bigs that they have as well. He'd be a nice fit at that 3 spot pretty much. I think they've got a nice a rotation between Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham right now in the backcourt, and all the bigs that they have, including recently acquired James Wiseman, Isaiah Stewart, amongst other guys as well. So they're kind of loaded with young talent. I think he fit right in with those guys. At number 6, we have the Orlando Magic taking Anthony Black from the University of Arkansas. Orlando's in need of a facilitating point guard, and I think Anthony fits the bill right here. I think they've got a lot of combos logjam there in Orlando, but I think Anthony is a pass-first facilitating guy at 6'7", which gives him great size and great backcourt length, obviously. But at the same time, he can guard, defend multiple positions. He's going to set up his teammates, and he has athleticism to finish in and around the lane. He has to improve his jump shot, of course, but I think that's something that he can continue to work on. But I think Anthony would be a really good fit for Orlando at number 6, in my opinion. At number 7, we've got the Indiana Pacers taking Gregory GG Jackson from the University of South Carolina. I've talked about Gregory a lot, GG a lot in our previous mocks, and the one thing I like about him is his ability to find shots for himself. I mean, I think I told you guys this before, but Gregory didn't have any plays really run for him at the University of South Carolina. He went and got pretty much every shot he ever had at South Carolina on his own, whether it's offensive rebounds, finding the ability to create for himself in the half court, rebounding, pushing in transition, all those things. So I think Gigi has a lot of tools. I think he may be a project, but I think he's a project worth taking a shot on because he's so young. He's the youngest guy in this draft, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he doesn't turn 19 until this coming December. So I think Gigi's going to have he has a lot of upside. He may have the most upside out of anybody in this draft right now with his age and the skill set that he already possesses at 6'9" as probably a combo forward, in my opinion. At number 8, we've got the Washington Wizards taking Ausar Thompson from Overtime Elite, 6'7", small forward wing. Ausar has a very similar game to his brother. Can put the ball on the floor, can create for himself, likes to facilitate and pass and create shots for his teammates. He has the ability to get downhill, finish athletically around the rim. He's shown some touch as a much improved shooter from the perimeter, and especially in the mid range, has some nice touch around the 15-foot area off the glass, off 1 foot, off 2 feet, fadeaways, things like that, shooting over either shoulders. Really athletic. Like I said, long and athletic guy. Also has the ability to be also a really good defender, both on ball and team help side. And so what you're getting from him also is an elite defender that can defend multiple positions, probably 1, 2s, and 3s really well. And if he improves his jump shot, he's going to be an elite wing in the league also, in my opinion. So at number 8, we've got the Washington Wizards taking Ausar Thompson from Overtime Elite. At number 9, we've got the Utah Jazz taking Jarace Walker from the University of Houston. The 6'8", powerful power forward can do a little bit of everything. He can put the ball on the floor. He can create for himself. He's physically strong. He can shoot the ball really well from the perimeter. I think he shot right in the mid to high 30s from the three-point line, if I'm not mistaken. He has really good touch around the rim. Has like really good touch, floaters, runners, things like that. Also can physically finish through people. He's going to be probably one of the biggest guys on the court when he steps on the court. Has a nice little handle, can rebound, push in transition, which is one of I think is his underrated skill sets. Is his ability to rebound and push in transition and create for himself, facilitate to his teammates, and create shots for himself. And so I really like Jarace Walker right here going to the Utah Jazz as just another playmaking option for the Utah Jazz. And I think they're stockpiling young talent as well. Very similar to the Detroit Pistons and the Oklahoma City Thunder. A lot of young elite talent in the league. And I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with once these guys start to develop and mature. So at number 9, we've got the Utah Jazz taking Jarace Walker from the University of Houston. All right, at number 10, this is our first major surprise. We have the Dallas Mavericks taking Derek Lively II from Duke University. Derek's a 7'1" center, very mobile, very athletic. Runs the floor like a deer, has really good hands, finishes well around the rim, and has a surprisingly good, it's not surprising to me, maybe surprising to you, but not surprising to me. Derek has a really good touch from the three-point line. He'll be great in pick and pop and trail 3 situations. Also has a good shot from both corners. I think Derek's going to be a modern day athletic big that can protect the rim, defend multiple positions on the perimeter. He's able to kind of guard. He'll be able to guard and get switched onto guards and pick and roll action, and he'll be able to knock down a 3. block shots, protect the rim, everything that you can ask for in a big. He'll space the floor vertically and with the shot, which I think is something that most bigs don't have. They maybe have one or the other. He'll be able to do both really well. He'll be a vertical spacer and a floor spacer, which is great. And so at number 10, we've got the Dallas Mavericks taking Derek Lively II from Duke. At number 11, we have the Orlando Magic via the Chicago Bulls taking Taylor Hendricks from UCF. Taylor's at stretch four, finishes well around the rim, can shoot the ball from the perimeter off the catch, primarily in pick and roll action or pick and pop action and trail three action. Can defend multiple positions. He's young as well, but I think he has a lot of upside also. He's a stretch four modern day big that's going to be a really good player in small ball lineups or if you're playing big because he can do a little bit of everything. He can play the five in small ball lineup and he can play the stretch four obviously in a traditional setting. But Taylor has the ability to do a little bit of everything. Runs the floor really well, has really good hands, finishes around the rim. He's tougher than you would think he is, being that how young he is. And I think that he's going to be a guy that surprises some people if he gets an opportunity to play. Obviously, coming from UCF, he going to Orlando, that's a nice fit because that's pretty much where he's from. He's from that Central Florida area, and so it's kind of a hometown kid pick right here at number 11 for the Orlando Magic, taking Taylor Hendricks from UCF. At number 12, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Keyonte George. If you've seen Keyonte George over the past few years, whether it was in high school and or college, Keyonte is a bucket. He can create shots for himself. He's a big shot taker, big shot maker, has really good footwork, has the ability to create separation off the dribble for himself. Big frame where he can absorb contact and finish through contact. I wouldn't say he's the most athletic kid, but he has the ability to get by people with more so his skill set and his craftiness with the ball in his hands and his elite footwork, in my opinion. And so at number 12, we've got the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Keyonte George from Baylor. At number 13, we've got the Toronto Raptors taking Jalen Hood-Schifino from the University of Indiana. Jalen's a big point guard, 6'6", point guard, pass first, has the ability to knock down shots in the mid range, going either way, obviously going left or right. Has the ability to knock down shots off the dribble. Can shoot the ball a little bit from three. Has to improve that a little bit, but his size and his ability to play on the perimeter as a primary ball handler bodes well for the Toronto Raptors, who may be moving off from Fred VanVleet if this coming summer. And so he'd be a nice addition, a bigger, more versatile backcourt that can guard and switch multiple positions. I think he kind of fit right in with the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, it's one of the better programs in the league as far as young player development, and I think he fit right in. I think we can see him being a really solid player for the Raptors and potentially a primary focal point on the team at some point. So at number 13, we've got the Toronto Raptors taking Jalen Hood-Schifino from the University of Indiana. At number 14, we have the New Orleans Pelicans taking Cason Wallace from the University of Kentucky. Cason's a 6'2" point guard that is probably one of the elite point guard defenders in this draft class, or maybe even one of the elite defenders overall in this draft class. I think he can defend multiple positions, even guys that are a lot bigger than him, because of his strength, quickness, length, and his tenacity as a defender. I think he's going to be able to really pressure the ball. I think he'll play pass lanes really well. He's got some athleticism. He shot the ball pretty decent from the three-point line. I think he was in the plus 30, the high 30s as well. And I think he has the ability to continue to improve that shot. My concern is probably going to be his ability to create for himself off the dribble and showcase that he can really kind of go get a shot on his own if he really needs to. And so that would be my only concern with Cason. But I think all the things that he does well, I think are going to translate and transfer to the next level right away. His primary thing will be playing elite defense on the perimeter. And I think the improved jump shot, I think he has to continue to make strides to become a knockdown three-point shooter, which I think he can do. But I think, obviously playing with Zion and Brandon Ingram and some other elite scorers, I think he'll probably be more in the catch and shoot variety because he won't have the ball in his hands that much. And I think he'll be able to knock down shots in that system with New Orleans for sure. At number 15, we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking Grady Dick from Kansas University, the 6'7" wing. Is probably one of the better shooters in this class. I think he has the ability to shoot it off the catch, on the moves, spot ups. Can shoot it off the dribble a little bit. He can attack closeouts. He's a sneaky athlete. He can get downhill and finish in the lane. He has good size. He's got decent lateral quickness, but I think that he won't be able to get picked on the perimeter as a defender. I think so. I think he's going to be able to be a plug and play kind of guy, in my opinion, right away. Just somebody that can just stretch the floor for the Hawks. Obviously, the Hawks have Trey, who's a great shooter, and Dejounte, who's probably more of creating facilitator. And I think having another shooter on the court that can stretch the floor and have an outlet for both of those guys when they're creating bodes well for the Hawks. Um, so at number 15, we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking Grady Dick from Kansas University. At number 16, we've got the Utah Jazz taking Bilal Coulibaly from Metropolitan 92 in France. Bilal is probably a guy that I think when the season started was probably a year away from being a NBA draft prospect, but obviously playing with Victor Wembanyama, he had more eyes on him and it had the ability to showcase his talent right away. And I think he's kind of shot up a lot of boards for this year's draft. 6'6" wing, can put it on the floor a little bit, finishes well around the rim, can play a little defense, can push the transition off the rebound, off the defensive glass, and push it out of transition, creating for himself and for his teammates. And I think he's going to be a really good defender as well. I think he has a lot of stuff to work with as a wing. I think he's a little young also, but I think he'll have the ability to kind of grow. And obviously, going to Utah, who has a lot of young talent, I don't think that he'll have any pressure on him to necessarily produce right away. So he may have some time, and he'll probably end up spending a little time in the G League for sure. But I think at number 16, this is a really solid pickup for the Utah Jazz and Bilal Coulibaly from Metropolitan 92. At number 17, we've got the LA Lakers taking Noah Clowney from the University of Alabama. Noah's a guy that also shot up boards this season. I don't think anyone assumed that he would be in this position when he stepped on Alabama's campus. Probably not even the coaches, to be honest. But Noah's ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter, run the floor really well, finish around the rim, crash the glass on both sides of the boards, creating second chance opportunities and creating securing defensive rebounds and igniting the fast break for Alabama. Showcase that he has the elite NBA potential needed to kind of produce at the next level right away. I think what set him apart obviously is his ability to shoot the ball from three and shoot and having a quick release and a quick trigger from the 3-point line. Alabama wants guys like that can shoot the ball from the perimeter, and I think it was a perfect system for Noah to really showcase his talent. But on the other side, he runs the floor really well. Really well. He's going to be a great rim runner for the guy for the Lakers. Obviously, with LeBron and D'Angelo Russell, guys that can facilitate and pass the ball, he'll be a great outlet for them. Also, like I said, securing offensive rebounds and finishing well around the rim. All things I think bode well for Noah Clowney at number 17 going to the Los Angeles Lakers. At number 18, we've got the Miami Heat taking Dariq Whitehead from Duke University. Dariq's one of my favorite players. Dariq's one of those guys I think that does a little bit of everything really well. He shoots it from the 3-point line pretty good. You put it on the floor. He can rebound. He can defend multiple positions. I think he does a little bit of everything. I think he has really good size at 6'6", very strong frame kid. And I think he's a guy that would fit in well with Miami and how they play. Obviously, they're a hard, tough nosed, gritty kind of team. And I think that his ability to kind of just be able to kind of fit in whatever role they need him to fit in, I think he'll fit well with the Miami Heat. And so at number 18, we've got the Miami Heat taking Dariq Whitehead from Duke. 19, we've got the Golden State Warriors taking Kobe Jones from Xavier University, 6'6", forward/wing, can do a little bit of everything as well. Can shoot it from the perimeter, can defend multiple positions, can put it on the floor a little bit. Rebounds at both sides, both ends of the court pretty well. I think Kobe's ability to kind of be a really good role player, solid role player right away, bodes well for him. The Warriors obviously are a championship contender, and they want to try to compete right now. I think Kobe's one of those guys that can kind of just fit in and play in the Warriors system. I think right away. I think he's one of those guys that he's never been the primary focal point on a team, and his mindset and his ability to play with other elite players is what's going to help him sustain and solidify a role with the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, at number 19. At number 20, we've got the Houston Rockets via the Los Angeles Clippers taking Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio State University. Bryce is another one of these guys that a lot of people probably didn't think would be on the draft radar right away, but he surprised a lot of people with his ability to create shots for himself off the dribble, getting into his bag, going right and left. He has a nice little package of like shoulder fakes, jab steps, getting defenders off balance, then using his size and skill set to create space for himself and get his shot off on the perimeter in the mid range and from the 3 point line. He's a strong kid. I think he's sneaky athletic. I think a lot of people don't realize how athletic he really is and how talented he really is in a skill from a skill set standpoint. But I think he has a lot of stuff to work with. Obviously, he has to continue to improve his body and really improve his ability and his desire to want to play defense. I think, but I think he can do that thing. And if nothing else, I think right now he can be a second team option to be a primary scorer for the Clippers, who may need an extra little bit of punch as they're getting ready to move into a new building in the next year or so. And so at number 20, we've got the Houston Rockets taking Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio State University. At number 21, we've got the Brooklyn Nets via the Phoenix Suns taking Kobe Buffkin from the University of Michigan. Kobe's a guy that can play on the ball, off the ball. He's a traditional combo in my opinion. I think he's not a, some people say, is he a 2-1 or is he a 1-2? He's probably just a combo. He can play on the ball, off the ball. 6'4", he has a decent enough size. He has good size. He's not great size. He has good size to play the 1 and or the 2. He has the ability to put the ball on the floor and create for himself and create opportunities for his teammates. Shoots it decently from the perimeter. And he likes to play defense. I think last year when he was a freshman, he got on the court by playing defense for Juwan Howard. I think that's something that really sets him apart. And I think that's something that'll keep him on the court if his shot isn't falling or if he's not creating shots for himself, shots for his teammates as well. So I think Kobe has the ability to really solidify himself with the Brooklyn Nets, who they're a little older in the backcourt, so they may want to go a little younger. I think he's a guy that can definitely solidify a spot in the backcourt with the Brooklyn Nets if things work out that way. At number 22, we've got the Brooklyn Nets taking Kris Murray from Iowa. Chris is the twin brother of Keegan Murray, who was drafted number 4 last year by the Sacramento Kings. Games are very similar, kind of a stretch 4, 6'8", 6'9" guy, can shoot it from 3, can put it on the floor a little bit. Actually has some post touch as well. Can shoot over both shoulders off from either block as well. Can defend probably the 4 and the 5 primarily. I think he'll be a nice small ball 5 with his ability to stretch the floor and shoot the ball from the perimeter. I don't think he's not an elite athlete by any stretch, but I think he's athletic enough. I think he has the ability to continue to improve. The one thing I like about the Murray brothers is they've steadily improved over the years, even from high school. And I think that they're guys that will continue to just get better. And obviously, based on what Keegan did and how successful he was this year for Sacramento, I think we can probably expect some similar things from Chris going to the Brooklyn Nets at number 22. At number 23, we have the Portland Trailblazers via the New York Knicks taking Jordan Hawkins from UConn. Jordan's a combo guard that obviously, like, Portland loves combo guards, and they have over the past few years. Obviously, CJ McCollum and Anthony Simons are guys that are both combos. You can even call Dame a combo if you really want to. But I think Jordan has pretty good size at 6'5", can shoot it from the perimeter, athletic, a little slight frame, but I don't think that's going to be an issue at the next level. I know he's going to continue to get stronger. I think he likes to play defense. He loves getting into the pass lanes, creating transition opportunities for himself and for his teammates. And I think that he can fit right in with all the other elite athletic wings and guards that the Trailblazers have an abundance of, including Shaedon Sharpe and Keon Johnson, who they've acquired over the past few years. So I think he fit right in with that group of guys, but he has the ability to kind of create shots and make shots for himself. I think that's another thing. At number 23, we have the Portland Trailblazers taking Jordan Hawkins from UConn. At number 24, we have the Sacramento Kings taking Jalen Wilson from Kansas University. Jalen's one of those guys that 6'8". He shot it well from 3 this year. He showed steady improvement as a 3-point shooter over the course of his 4 years at Kansas. And he's made strides to kind of improve himself as a ball handler, as a defender. He's become a lot more vocal as a leader. He's one of those guys that I love too, because he's a 4-year guy, and every year at Kansas he had to step into a different role, and by stepping into those different roles, he acquired new skill sets and new talents that I think will all translate, which will make him an easy plug and play kind of guy on a playoff team from this past year. And I think his ability to kind of he'll be able to do whatever you really ask him, because he's had to do those things based on where he was in the pecking order at Kansas prior. So I think his mindset will be just simply put him in a spot and let him try to compete and try to help the team win. And I think Jalen's going to be able to do that really well. At number 25, we've got the Memphis Grizzlies taking Nick Smith Jr. from Arkansas. Nick is a guy that was pretty high on a lot of boards going into the season. Obviously, some injuries kind of slowed him down. But I think right here at 25, Nick's going to be he could be a really good pickup for the Memphis Grizzlies as a guy that can go get his own shot with ease. He's shifty, has a nice pace of going slow to fast, fast and slow. He's also a pretty good playmaker, but I think he's probably more of a shoot first kind of guy, in my opinion. I think he can play on the ball, but I think he's probably going to do better off the ball as a scoring option on the perimeter. But in a pinch, obviously, he can play a little one as well. But I think Nick has the ability with his shiftiness. And he's a tough kid too. Nick's a tough kid. He doesn't shy away from contact. He likes to go into the paint. He likes to finish around the rim. He's athletic enough. He's got good size as well. So I like Nick Smith right here going to the Memphis Grizzlies at number 25. Indiana Pacers via the Cleveland Cavaliers taking Leonard Miller from G League Ignite. Leonard's 6'9", 6'10" forward. They kind of, he's kind of a junkyard dog kind of game. He secures rebounds. He moves well off the ball. He can put the ball on the floor and push and transition a little bit. He's obviously modern day. I think we hear junkyard dog, we think very old school kind of game. I think that's just a part of what he does, but he's also got some skills. He can put the ball on the floor. He's a good passer, in my opinion, especially from the elbow in the mid post area, finding guys on cuts. And again, the thing that I really like about him is his ability to rebound both on both ends of the ball. If he touches the ball, he's probably going to end up securing the rebound. He does this thing that I like about it. He tips it to himself, so he'll tip it away from someone else so he can go get it. And that's a la Dennis Rodman. If you guys are basketball nerds like I am, and I'm old too, so but Dennis Rodman used to do that a lot. He would tip the ball so he can secure himself and get it away from the opposing guy. And Leonard does that really well. I saw them play. I think I saw G League Ignite play about 6 times this year in person, and I think every time I saw him, he showed some more improvement. His jump shot needs a little work, but you can tell he's been working on it based on what we saw from him at the combine. But he has the ability to kind of continue to improve that jump shot, and if that thing starts to fall, then I think he's going to be a real matchup problem at the next level. At number 27, here's another surprise. Julian Phillips snuck into the first round. The 6'8" wing from the University of Tennessee. He only averaged about 9 points a game at the University of Tennessee, but they were loaded heavily with a lot of seniors, and so sometimes it's based on where you are and the fit of the team. But Julian can defend multiple positions. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit, and he can shoot the ball from the 3-point line. And at 6'8" and athletic, I think getting him right here at number 27 is a steal because I think he's a lottery talent, in my opinion. I think that if things go right, I think Charlotte picking him up at number 27 is a steal. I think he's a South Carolina kid, so he's in the region where he grew up at. So I think that's another kind of thing that would be helpful for them because he's a hometown kid. Obviously, he'll draw and attract some talent. But I think overall, Julian Phillips has the ability to be a really good steal in the first round, in my opinion. As a lot of people didn't have him so high coming into this part of the season. But I think he's gonna surprise some people. I think especially in workouts, he'll surprise some people, and I think eventually he'll go in this range, if not higher, in my opinion. At number 28, we've got the Utah Jazz via the Philadelphia 76ers taking Sidy Cissoko from G League Ignite. Sidy's one of these guys that just knows how to play basketball. I think that's the best way I can describe him. He's just a basketball player. He can pass it well. He can put the ball on the floor. He has good size. You can't bully him on the interior. He's smart enough to take really good angles and to guard on the perimeter. He can pass the ball really well. Actually, I think he was second or third in the G League in dunks, which was a surprise when I heard that stat. I think he has to improve his jump shot, obviously, to sustain himself on the court. But I think he's a guy that you can kind of play through as a facilitator from the elbow or even from the top of the key. I think he can facilitate and create opportunities for his teammates. And then obviously, I think he can defend multiple positions as well on the court, whether it's threes, fours, and fives. Maybe some 2 in a pinch, but I think he's going to be a guy that'll be he's a good fit because of his basketball IQ and his basketball skill set. So at number 28, we got the Utah Jazz taking Sidy Cissoko from G League Ignite. At number 29, we've got the Indiana Pacers via the Boston Celtics taking Jett Howard from the University of Michigan. Jett's one of those guys that he's just kind of his game kind of fits the NBA style. He's a 3-4 kind of kid. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He shoots it well from the 3-point line. He has good size at 6'8". Frame is pretty good as well. He probably needs to tone up a little bit, but I think he has a good frame where he can obviously take a bump. He can give a bump as well. He can rebound on the interior a little bit. He has to improve as a defender, in my opinion. That's the one thing I think that he's really lacking is his desire and his will to play defense. But I think his shot making ability is what's going to get him on the court. Now, what's going to keep him on the court is I think his ability to play defense, and I think he has to decide that he wants to do that at a high clip, which I think he can do. But it's shot making for him, for sure. I think he has all the shots. He can shoot it from the perimeter off the catch. He can shoot it off the move. He can shoot spot up stuff. He can get to the mid range. Shoot turnarounds over either shoulder. Finish around the lane. Has touch with both hands in the lane. I think he has a lot of stuff to offer as offensively goes. But I think it's the defensive side that he has to improve on. At number 30, we've got the LA Clippers via the Milwaukee Bucks taking Ryan Rupert, from the New Zealand Breakers via Paris, France. Ryan's one of those guys. I think he's going to definitely be a project, in my opinion. A lot of people have him going a lot higher, and if he goes high, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think right here at 30 will be a steal for the Clippers. He's going to be a project, though. I think he can do a little bit of everything. I think he can put it on the floor at times. He just was not consistent this season for me, in my opinion. And so the lack of consistency is the reason why he's down at the end of the first round. But I think he has talent and skill, and I think that he could really be a problem at the next level for sure. End up being a matchup problem for a lot of people. If once he develops some consistency on the perimeter as a scorer, as a ball handler, obviously you want to see him continue to kind of develop some playmaking ability. Because again, at 6'6", 6'7", that's what we kind of expect from those guys now. The guys that can bring the ball up, initiate the offense, create for himself and create for his teammates. Obviously, play well on the perimeter as a defender as well. But I think athletically, I think he's going to be fine. I think he may be a project, but I think in the years to come, I think he'll be able to crack the Clippers rotation and have some sort of impact on the Clippers. And so, with that being said, we are done. That is 1 through 30 of our mock draft 5.0. We've got one more to go. Obviously, please follow us on social media at BTL Hoops on Instagram and Twitter. Please visit the website. I've been writing articles like crazy. There's an article per day, focused pretty much around the NBA draft. I wrote an article. I won't say great article. I wrote an article about why I think Scoot and LaMelo Ball would work as a backcourt duo. Check that out, btlhoops.org. But until next time, please stay tuned, subscribe, please follow, please share, whatever it is that you want to do. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting on social media, on Instagram and on Twitter, obviously on YouTube page, which you guys are watching right now. We really appreciate everyone for subscribing and staying locked in with us. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.